you describing the video that the guy made wearing the shoe is more than I've thought about shoes in my entire life. Like I'm just like not a shoe person. Like in this, like, are my feet covered? Does it look reasonably stylish? Sure. Okay.
Man, I don't know. I'm going through this weird new experience, this new COVID experience of like, I bought all these fly ass shoes and I want to wear them and people to see me.
Oh, I know that's part of why I haven't been buying shoes.
Dude.
First of all, like nothing really dropped that I cared about. Like there were a couple that I was like, I guess I could buy those, but nah. Like, but the Flint 13s are the first pair that's dropping since this thing happened that I was like, I really want that.
Yeah, we'll tag team those. I like them, but I don't really care if I got them or not. Like,
I've liked the 13s for a long time, and the Flint is like, it's a classic colorway, and it's a sought after colorway, and I get why. Like, it's one of my favorite colorways that I've seen.
Yeah. Okay, that loud boom
was
my dog's head hitting the door as he came in the room. Hang on. He just,
dude, you got to film that yesterday. So I just discovered the coffin dance meme. Have you seen the coffin dance meme?
I have not.
Oh, it's my favorite thing on the internet now. You know, fail videos?
Coffin dance. All right.
You know what fail videos are?
I do.
It's those, but with an EDM drop and some guys dancing with a coffin. It's
all right.
So I love fail videos though, because I'm.
That's pretty awesome though.
And some of my friends love fail videos, and other friends of mine are more like you, where like that person probably got messed up, and so I totally get it. I don't judge you for not liking fail videos.
Hello.
Hey, Eliza.
How's it going? I'm trying to switch to HD video. We'll see if it works. Maybe that's been my problem the whole time.
It looks good to me.
Motherfucker, it has been.
Can you close that? I don't want him running around. He slammed into the door and opened it. He hit it hard. Like you could hear it just smack.
Yeah,
that sounds like a Boston.
I could hear it through my headphones. Like
Nick,
he really.
Oh
Nick
shit! Poor fella.
Yeah, he hit hard. That's what brought up. We were talking
outside.
about the coffin dance meme. Have you seen the coffin dance meme?
I have not seen the coffin
I'll
dance
just send you the video
later.
later.
Send me the coffin dance meme.
We just watched it together.
You know what fail videos are? Remember fail videos?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Okay, so they took those and then they added an EDM drop and this great clip from like the news of these guys in like, I think it's Ghana. Somebody, I think someone important died where they're dancing. Carrying coffin. So
I've seen that.
like right as like, you know, a person's about to run into a shed on a bicycle or something stupid like that, puts his head in an alligator's mouth. Like somebody's being fucking dumb, and then something
clamps down and starts doing a death rattle.
Fail videos.
Yeah.
And then right when that happens, the EDM drop happens, and it switches to the guys dancing with the coffin, and it's the silliest shit. I've watched it for like
that sounds like something
yesterday.
I would like to get high and just watch for 3 hours. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there are many compilations on the internet.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Coffin dance meme.
It's
coffin
like
dance meme. I'm into it.
It kind of reminded me of that like boat crash, turned down for what or whatever that it was. Where it's just like where they have that drop just happen right as these people all just like they're just like and then they just slam. I watched the actual original footage of it and it is just like it's not as fun. It's definitely not as fun without the EDM music playing.
Oh, no, this definitely adds a lighthearted, just comedy to, people smashing into things and breaking their body a little bit.
That's already funny.
You see, you're on my team with this. Here's my theory, and I played around with this at the open mic on Zoom last night. But basically, with fail videos, the reason I feel okay laughing is like if you're going to take a jump on a unicycle, you've sort of signed like a just a non-verbal, non-written like waiver. You've signed the waiver that when your obviously stupid idea ends the way it will end, which is you hitting your head off of a fucking rock, I'm
Yeah.
gonna laugh at you. Because
Strong words for everybody with testosterone under the age of 20.
Right.
yeah,
Oh,
I've
man.
been that person. I know the line of thinking or lack thereof that leads
Right.
to that decision, which
Right.
makes it funny to me.
Right. You're like, I wouldn't do it, but I get it.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like, no, I wouldn't do it now. But when I was like 16, if I knew how to ride a unicycle, hell yeah, I'm taking a jump.
You're gonna hit that jump.
We're gonna get some air. We're
Like on
not
our-
gonna think about the fact that there's no shock and
On
it's
our-
just boom.
Oh, right on the
to
tape.
Oh God! Like, see, I like have memories of
dead
stuff like
center
that.
hit. Bullseye, bitch.
Just like going over the handlebars.
Oh, that's a 10x.
Like
Oof.
whenever I almost get in a car accident, I have like flashbacks of like when I crashed snowboarding or skateboarding and like
Mhm.
what getting your face rattled feels like.
Mhm.
It's very odd. Where you're just like, oh, I know what it's gonna
Yeah.
kind of feel like.
I did hit my
Right.
face off a tree skiing once.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
It wasn't ideal, but you know, I got through it.
Clearly, you made it.
Yeah, clearly it didn't affect me at all, and I'm a fully functional person.
Well,
Take
we're
me
like
away.
10 minutes into this. I feel like maybe we should introduce our guest or let
yeah,
our
we
guests
probably should.
introduce themselves.
Oh, okay. Should I just do that?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
All right. My name is Eliza Butler. I am a licensed clinical social worker in Portland, which means that I went to school and then worked under someone long enough that they trust me to help people with mental health. So that's
What
why
else
I'm
do
here
you
today.
do?
Oh, and I'm also a stand-up comic in Portland.
Yeah.
And one of our friends.
One of your friends, exactly.
And
So
we're
I had a
friends.
lot of ends for getting booked on this podcast. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, you're our first guest.
Oh,
You are our
that's
first
exciting.
guest.
We haven't had
Oh.
a guest yet, so that's
Thank
why we talk
you.
over you so much.
That's-
Probably.
This happens in real life. Like this just feels normal.
Sorry about that.
I can
I'm not
talk over
sorry.
YouTube just as well as you can talk over me. Like it's mutual.
No regrets.
No, it's just how we are.
Own it.
Eventually, like something funny bubbles up, and then we go on
So,
stage.
welcome to Size 10, Eliza
Yeah,
Butler.
I've been hearing
Yeah.
so much good stuff. I'm so stoked to be here.
Very stoked to have you
Yeah.
on. I know you're not an actual size 10, but you know, we'll let that slide. You're not are you a 10 women's? You're not, right? You're like an 8.
I'm an 11. I'm an 11. I'm
Oh.
11. Are you kidding? I wish.
I have
Do
no idea.
If I see like I have a size 8 foot, I will take it.
I don't even know. I don't really know women's sizes because, like, for some reason, I'm thinking men's sizes, which is pretty accurate, actually. Now that I think
Yeah.
about it,
Yeah.
8 men is no, it's a
10
That's
and
a
a half.
9.5 women's. It's like 1.5 up.
Yeah.
oh, okay,
right?
that's right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
1.5 up because there's a couple of women's shoes that
There's a couple of
women
Jordan
Jordans that I have
drops
my
this year
eyeballs
that were
on.
women's
Yeah,
only
exactly.
drops that were dope.
It's 2020. Who gives a fuck? Let's quit gendering clothes.
It's
And
they're
shoes,
not
like,
even
it's
gendered.
dumb.
I
Right.
literally saw a rapper wearing them.
Right.
Was
Like,
it those off-white 4s or was it
No.
those Jordans that are blue and red?
No, it's the fossil. It's the fossil 4. I'll bring it up. It's the Air Jordan Retro 4 in the fossil. So it's like a gray or like a tan and black.
Mhm.
Okay, I
It's
think I remember that one.
sick, but it's
They've
only
had a
it's
lot
a
of
women's
cool-
only.
They've had a lot of cool like women's size.
Yeah, but like,
drops.
why do they have to be different sizes? Like European
I
sizes
think
are just
the,
all same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the women's only drops they have a slightly different cut. They're
Oh,
cut for
okay.
women too.
Well, what
So
that-
that's
how are
so I
women's
think they're
feet
like
different?
slightly narrower. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Maybe.
I don't make. I
Yeah,
don't design.
they
shit.
No,
probably
no,
wouldn't
no.
fit my
Shit.
fat ass feet, but these are them,
Oh,
and-
interesting.
and they're
So they're
sick. They
for
don't
women?
look like women's at all.
No, they
They
don't.
just look like a pair of 4s.
Yeah,
They're kind of a basic 4, but like I was like I'd rock these. I mean, but now that you say that, if it is a women's size and it's narrower, then that's no good for me.
I think it is. I don't know.
so
I
it
think
would be I would be an 11.5, right? So they're going for 336.
I mean, I guess it's just like I don't love the color. To me, that doesn't look super feminine. The like brown like that, but I don't know.
No, it doesn't at all. It looks like a men's
It looks
shoe
like a men's shoe.
entirely.
It does.
It just
pretty
happens
much
to be
look like a men's
smaller. Yeah.
They just fucked up and only did the size
They
run
just
like
didn't
too
wanna
small.
make
Like,
'em
shit,
big.
what are we gonna do?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
let's
for
sell them to
ladies.
ladies.
Yeah.
They're ladies. They're kind of a
Just put
light
'em-
color. It
put 'em
looks
in a
like
pink box.
foundation. Yeah, put it in a pink box. Sell it for $10 more.
Exactly.
What's
Now
the
you
retail
understand.
on these?
Remove the
$190.
pockets.
They're the same price. They didn't put the woman's
Yeah, they
tax on
didn't.
this one.
They didn't mark up. Yeah, they probably wanted to
They
sell
put the
them.
pink
so.
tax. Yeah, right.
The pink tags. Yeah. Yeah, right? They're just like, oh, gotta get rid of them. I don't love that brown color, that's all.
It
So you
looks like
wouldn't-
they actually sold out pretty quick if they're reselling for $330.
in our
Only in the
size.
men's sizes.
Yeah, the women's sizes. No, even the women's sizes, they're gone. They're all above 200.
Okay,
Hmm.
so yeah, people
So-
wanted them, I guess.
So they're. It looks pretty. They did drop. Nope, they've been above 200 the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, like pretty much since they came out on the resale.
Oh,
So what I brought up,
something interesting.
Eliza, I don't know if
Yeah.
you're familiar with reselling. Are you? I love that
Fucking
pillow, by the
Nicolas
way.
Cage.
Well, I meant to have like a whole setup. I have a possum toy. I forgot, but we'll put Nicholas up here.
Nicholas over your shoulder,
Yeah, he's helping out. I'm sure he has.
whispering secrets of America.
Yeah, he might be the
Like-
one to tell me about stocks. For what I understand about the back stock and all of that is just from what I've heard y'all talk about,
Mhm.
but I obviously don't know so much about it myself.
Basically, so what StockX is, it's a reseller. So the shoes come out, people buy them, and then people, the consumers who can't get them, like Nick and I, who've been trying to get these
Mhm.
shoes and then we aren't able to get them.
Right.
We have to go to a site like this where
Mhm.
it's a reseller, and so they just they stand in line, or they pay people to stand in line, and they get the shoe at the drop, and then they put them on this website,
Mhm.
and all of the StockX ones are dead stock, which means they've never been worn.
Okay.
And what's cool about
Mm.
StockX, what I like about it is when you order a pair, the shipper or the seller sends it to StockX and they verify its authenticity.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise,
it's
you
almost
get
like
your
an
money
escrow
back.
or something.
It's like the middle. It's like if eBay had a facility where people, because it's just a dude has a pair of shoes. So
Right.
when
Mhm.
someone buys them, you bid, they accept it, then they send it to StockX where they verify that it's authentic,
Mm.
and then StockX ships it to the person.
I probably have one somewhere over here.
I
They
think
put this
Goat-
little
there's a-
seal on it.
Yeah, Goat does the same thing.
Yeah.
The same.
Goat
business.
sells
Yeah.
sells used stuff too, though.
Yeah, you're right. They do, but I think they still verify that it's authentic, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
They do, because there's a lot of a $300 shoe obviously is likely to have some kind of knockoff or whatever.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
it's so
there's
that
some
you can
really
trust
good
it.
fakes out there too. Like
Mhm.
there are shoes where you had somebody has to really go through with a fine tooth comb to find the little imperfection,
Right.
because
Yeah.
they duplicate these shoes.
This really reminds me of a lot of women's designer purses and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
StockX also sells
I was gonna
high-end
say, I feel
watches
like, yeah.
and pretty much just
And
designer stuff, like
Designer
high-end
they,
fashion.
Okay. That
Yeah,
makes
the same
sense,
as
yeah.
Louis Vuitton purses.
Yeah, they do
or Chanel or
handbags
whatever.
too.
Yeah, exactly. Because but yeah, it's interesting. I've just never thought about how
Yeah.
analogous handbags and shoes are.
Shoes
that's-
are like the those
For
shoes that I
handbags
sent you
for
the other day. Have
male
you
people.
those Buscemi shoes?
Yes.
Those are all inspired by designer handbags.
Oh wow.
They're all
Inception.
yeah. That's why they're $900.
Stockception or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just yeah,
hmm
Because shoes
all
are
those
kinda-
Chinese fakes of
Yeah, no.
everything in the world, because their intellectual property laws down there are
Right. Yeah.
not
I mean,
what we've got going on here.
no,
So
they're so strict here. So yeah, they just
no,
basically-
China's intellectual property is really, and they've got cars that are a blatant ripoff of other cars. There's
Yeah.
these Chinese brands, and all their cars look like somebody put a fucking BMW through a copier, and they changed just 2% of it, but it's obviously a X5.
That's
so
But it
hilarious.
isn't. It's
Yeah.
called the whatever I don't remember the brand. They did a thing on Top Gear about it. They did some Chinese brand and they name it some other thing. But it's a fucking BMW. It's like a blatant ripoff. There's just so many blatant ripoffs.
Dude, they have that.
It's kind of funny. I'm not mad at it.
That's in
It's
everything.
hilarious.
Like I've been looking at motorcycles, and there's a lot of these motorcycle ripoffs. But what's crazy about them is you can order them. Like you can, because we can access them, and they have free shipping, and they ship it to you in a crate, and you put it together. And I've spent a bunch of time watching these dudes just put them together.
Just buy like these Chinese motorcycle replicas.
Yeah.
So they get for like $6,000 plus shipping, and then you get something that's almost a Ducati.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. And you get it
But
in a
it's got
crate,
like
and you just have to put the
90
bars
cc
on.
fucking
No.
two-stroke.
No, some of them are like, no, they're like legit. Like they actually are legit. Like they go fast and they're gnarly. But the thing about them that in my research, what I found is because I was like, maybe like if I had a garage, hell yeah, I'm buying one. Because I want this stupid motorcycle. It's called a Honda Grom, but they're like $4,000.
And it's that silly little tiny bike.
It's that
right?
silly little, it's like this, it's like a combination dirt bike, road, street bike.
It looks
for
like
an
a
adult.
bike that you would buy for a kid, though.
It is.
It's like a tiny little bike.
Yeah, it is.
I feel
they're
like-
really, really fun to ride. It's basically a moped that looks like a street bike, basically. Because it only goes, top speed's like 45. I think they are 150 cc is what they are. Or
Bjorn,
200 cc.
I'm imagining you watching these videos. This is like your ASMR is just like watching these dudes build these motorcycles. You're just like watching them to go to sleep.
I mean, they usually they like start putting it together, and then they like go to like really fast and then play like some dumb EDM for a second where it's just like
That sucks.
wow, 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 and they're just like moving
They
around
go
their
to
garage.
Glitch
really
Mob
fast.
like every other video.
Yeah, like everything on the internet.
Actually,
I
that was
think-
in 2013, but still.
My favorite videos, like weird videos that I watch all the time because I'm into bowling ball review videos. I don't know what they were doing before dubstep came out. Because now every single bowling video that I've ever seen, bowling ball review, is they just like they have the drop as soon as the bowling ball hits the pins. And you know what? Spoiler alert, it's always a strike. They always look exactly the same. It's just like,
always a strike.
it's like
So it's just like it's like rolling.
Wah, 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 wah.
Womp, womp.
There's like a lightning bolt in like every transition you've ever seen. It's like, what did my
Jesus Christ, that's
stepdad
awesome.
make this video? Like, what the hell,
The
Storm?
most
Up
boomer
your
thing I've
game.
ever heard
I
of.
think I can one up you on ridiculous internet videos that I've been going down a rabbit hole on.
All right.
Chess.
Oh God.
Oh, Nick.
And you click on one and all of a sudden your whole YouTube feed is fucking chess videos, and they're intriguing. And they're just like, here, watch this game from 1983 when fucking this guy from, Russian name played this guy with a Russian name. And then it's like, and now this was an interesting move. He chose to play pawn to d7 here, and we
They slow it down and break it.
Oh no, they break it
Slow
down.
motion, have an
It's
instant
always
replay
there's
of that.
like a dude
Like, oh,
talking
shit.
through the game. These are famous games by like good people or whatever, and then
Oh
he'll
my
just be
God.
like, "This was a bad move, and he should have done this because." And then he goes through the next like.
Do they cut to
15
like the
moves?
thing with the white lines drawing like in football and stuff and basketball?
No, they don't do that. What they do
Oh,
is they will play the game. They're like, if he had made this move, and then this guy made his best move, which is here, and this guy made his best move, and they go like 10 moves deep. And they're like, and this is why that move would have been better than this move. But this
And
is
then
what
they
he did.
Show it.
And then this guy did this, and then this guy did this, and then that guy won. Ha ha! What a fucking dummy! Like,
Nick, this is
Like,
just
they
making me
Traditional
feel a
ending
lot
to a
better.
chess game.
this is making you feel okay because I've been enjoying them a lot, and then
This is
it
making me feel
inspires me
better
to play
about-
chess, and then I go on the internet and get my fucking shit pushed in, and like.
Gross.
I'm so so gross, Nick.
I know.
What are you doing on the internet there, buddy?
Just playing chess against strangers.
I didn't know you
really
could do that
hurts.
through the internet.
It really feels awful to lose chess sometimes because it's like this stranger is very much smarter than you in this moment. You feel like so dumb, right? Okay, I'll speak for myself. I feel quite dumb when I lose a game of chess.
You're playing a Russian 6-year-old and you're like, fuck.
Yeah,
not again.
probably this Russian
Probably.
6-year-old. He just made me just look like a dum-dum.
Who was bred between two chess masters or whatever,
Probably.
grandmasters.
Yeah, he was
Like,
He was
bred
created for this, Nick.
they bred him specifically for this, like a fucking dog. like for the right finger lengths,
They
and
just have a bunch of kids that are born in the same chess area, and they give them like a logic-based task, and the ones
Yeah.
that pass it get to live or
Yeah,
whatever. Because this is
exactly.
Russia, you just like feed some kids to some tigers if you don't like them or whatever, right?
right.
It's like a cold and lawless land.
Carol
So-
Baskin style.
I think
See,
that's what
it's
happens
making
over
me
there.
feel better about all of the on feet videos that I've been watching this week. Are you familiar with what those are?
What?
Maybe.
Okay, so you
Nothing,
can go
'cause
into
it just sounds
YouTube
like
and
you're
type
buying
in.
foot videos.
It sounds like a foot fetish. It's borderlining, and I'm like, well, I just like I do like a check, and I'm like, well, I'm not turned on right now, so
Do a check.
like, well, you know what? You know how like you check if you have to pee? I did that. I was like, is this doing anything for me? I'm like excited, but not like that, you know? Like, watching some black dude in his fucking closet, just like slow motion step and twirl, you know? But
Oh, so it's like people are trying the shoes on? Am I guessing?
yeah, like for
Okay.
me, I'm kind of the reason I was watching them is I'm like, sometimes if you're just looking at pictures of a shoe, it's hard to understand like what the shoe looks like on a person.
Oh,
on a
okay. I
foot.
get what you're saying then.
So it's like there's a lot of these on feet videos. So like I just was like, oh, okay. Or there are these review guys, and usually at the end they do the on feet where they
Mhm.
put them on.
Yeah,
and-
I do
and
watch
kinda
the
just, like-
reviews where they talk about the shoe, and then they like there's always some like minute of video or something where they're wandering around wearing the shoe, so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can kind of see
exactly.
what it looks like when people are wearing it.
And sometimes they show you different outfits you can wear with them and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. So it's not totally sexual. it's
No, it just sounds like
Yeah.
sneaker dork.
it's
YouTube.
totally sneaker dork. Yeah, it's sneakerhead porn. That sounds
Yeah.
real sexual.
It's never too
It's
late to
not
find out you're into
pornographic.
something new. Bjorn. It's fine.
I'm not actually into like I don't have a foot fetish. I've explored that. It's not a thing for me. Not for me.
It's the most
Yeah, I don't
common
think I have a
fetish.
thing for feet either.
So all right, I'm gonna change gears.
Yeah, let's definitely.
Should we
change.
talk about okay, Eliza, do you want to talk
Should we
about your
talk about
shoe
shoes?
or do we
Yeah.
want to talk about height?
Let's talk about Eliza's
Um,
shoe first.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's just funny because like I'm thinking about you describing the video that the guy made wearing the shoe is more than I've thought about shoes in my entire life. Like I'm just like not a shoe person. Like like are my feet covered? Does it look reasonably stylish? Sure. Okay. So I'm always delighted when you guys are doing your sneaker thing because I'm like, I don't get it. But am I supposed to show my shoes? I lint rolled these shoes for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh
sometimes
yeah,
I
then
wash
definitely
them.
show them.
Yeah, okay.
That's more care than we've put into most of the shoes we've showed on here, though. I've had some
They're
dirty shoes. on
Covered
here.
in cat hair.
I've
though,
been
so
I've been
I
cleaning
haven't
mine
worn them
before.
since. Yeah. They were not up.
Painful.
I
Clean
haven't
mine.
worn them in quarantine. I think the last time I wore them was the socially distant walk at the middle of March.
Okay.
Anyway, okay, so do I just show? Okay, here's
Yep.
so these are
Just just show one of them.
Supergas. Oh, one of them. Okay, sorry. Shit, I
Alright.
could have just rolled one. So they're just like canvas, like super simple canvas, rubber soled black shoes, but there's Supergas are Italian, so that clearly makes them fancy.
So they're like an Italian low top Converse, basically.
Yes. Yeah, basically. And
Cool.
I mean, honestly, I've worn like low top Converse for many years, like Vans. Like I love those I often wear those kind of really simple skate sneakers if I'm going to wear sneakers. Typically, I
Yeah.
just wear cheap leather flats or whatever. Like I don't have anything super special as far as like work or whatever. But then the story I was going to tell about it is like that kind of canvas low top sneaker, like in the 80s and early 90s, like the biggest example of that were Keds. Have you guys ever heard of Keds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like super simple, right? And I always wanted a pair of Keds. They had the little blue rubber label on the back, so you could tell they were fancy, you know. And all the rich girls in my school had them, so like I had to have them. They were like $30, which back then was like they're probably like $50 a pair now. You know what I mean? So like kind of equivalent. So like not cheap Payless, whatever. So it was a big deal. And when I was in 6th grade, I was outside playing tetherball. You guys know tetherball, right? It's like the whole chain and the ball, right? And when I was a kid, my joints were like super loose. Like I used to like stay, like I don't know if I can describe, like stand on my ankles. You know what I mean? Like I would turn my feet to the side. It's like really gross and creepy, and I probably couldn't do it now. But, like my feet would go all the way to the side, and I could just like stand on my ankles. Like that's how loose my joints were.
Yeah, it creepy as shit. It took me a second, but then I pictured it.
Yeah.
You guys knew what that moment was.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, like your foot turned to the side?
Yeah, so like if my feet were like this, they were like that.
Like in this scenario, you got slightly shorter?
Yes. Yeah.
See,
that's fucking weird. I was picturing like a ballerina on point.
No.
And I was like,
on the side.
Like that's bad for your toes, but other than that. No, on the side. Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, it was really creepy. So
not
just
to
like
shame you for that or anything, but like if I saw the person doing that like out in the wild, I'd be like, "That's a strange person," and I would walk away.
And you wouldn't talk to them.
Me. Yeah, exactly.
But you weren't doing that, so
I wouldn't be like, "I need to strike up a friendship with that person."
Yeah, if you'd been standing on the side of your ankles, I would not have been your friend.
No, I was a weird kid. It was fine. Anyway, but by the time I was in 6th grade, I wasn't walking around doing that anymore. But I jumped up to hit the tetherball. When I came down, my ankle turned and I landed on it. And I broke my foot. So like where my little toe and the rest of it like meet just went whoop. It's like it's called a Jones fracture, I think. Anyway, I was in a cast for months. It was a whole fucking thing. And after that, my mom banned Keds forever. Like I was not allowed to wear low top anything. Yes. It's like if you just had some ankle support, this wouldn't have happened. Like she was just like furious.
I love how you now this is your rebellion. You're like, fuck you, mom. Low tops. Low tops for life.
When I finally like got to college and started
parents,
buying,
no rules.
Exactly. No, you know what? Like honestly, I was sneaky as shit. I was the sneaky ass kid. I did whatever I wanted to, but if I had walked in with low tops, she would have seen. Like that would have been. You know what I mean? Like they were just verboten. And so when I went to college, I started buying low top shoes again, but they were banned. So yeah. So now.
What did you have to wear in the meantime? Like what high top shoes did they?
Oh my God. They were probably all from Payless. Like they were not.
It wasn't like Doc Martens or something.
No.
Like,
you know, so here is the
90s.
other thing. Yeah. So the reason that I am not into shoes is because like I just cannot tolerate my feet being uncomfortable like at all. Like I don't wear heels.
That's why I like shoes so much. That's how I got so into shoes is because I have a fucked up foot. So it's like a constant reminder and a constant. So if a shoe sucks and I don't like it, I just became very aware of shoes.
Yeah.
And the other part was just from skateboarding for me. Like we keep talking about this, but it's always like, I just bought a lot of shoes because you're wearing through your shoes when you're skateboarding.
Yeah.
And then there was this weird like moment in the, I want to say early 2000s where there was sort of like a merger of like fashion and sneakerhead culture, like clashed with skateboarding with things like Supreme starting and stuff with like lots of hype shoes. And then realizing like I would have, I've told Nick this before, but like I would have shoes and then people that I knew that were like sneakerheads would be like, oh shit, those are the like Dunk Lows, whatever. And I was like, yeah, they were on sale. So I bought them, you know, they were just the cheapest ones that fit my feet. But yeah, it came from mine. It came from my pain, I guess.
Sure.
And like,
and so I think the difference is that women's shoes, except for sneakers, are just uniformly supposed to be uncomfortable. Like you're just expected that your feet are going to hurt, you know, like, oh, your feet are going to hurt at the end of the night or whatever. Like it's just a given. So, so many more women's shoes. Like I've probably worn heels like less than 10 times in my life. I just can't do it. You know, so like so many women's shoes are just like, I'm like, I remember remembering like when I went to a wedding once and I had these like, they were heels and I wore them. And by the end of the night, like I just could barely. And also I have a very narrow heel. So it's, if a shoe is just slightly too big, like it fucks up the back of my heel because it's moving back and forth and like scraping.
Yeah, totally.
So, and I always thought I had really wide feet, and it turns out, no, you just have a narrow heel, and that's like where the problem is. So,
oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I just like, shoes are painful for me. So Doc Martens, like you mentioned, Nick, like those, I could never wear a pair long enough to break them in. Like I'd buy a pair and they would just be so heavy and like hurt so much. I was just like, fuck this. So I've never really.
So, all right. So I looked up Keds just in case anybody doesn't know what they look like. These are the ones
exactly
you're talking about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Cool.
those Supergas that you have look like exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly.
So
like the
I
same.
found those. These are this is the model, right? The 2750.
Yeah.
So it looks like they retail at $65. So that's not a terrible.
Well, right, and that's
shoe.
another thing I've learned is that
Vans.
those pink ones are so cute. I've learned that like I can't just go super cheap with shoes because if my feet hurt, they hurt. Those are super cute, but the only thing is because I do wear a size 11 in women's, they probably aren't in my size.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm kind of limited that way. So that also sucks. But Nordstrom.
So when you told me what shoe it was, this is the shoe I thought it was. I was like, damn, girl, I've never seen that.
You've seen me wear the other ones. Like, have you seen me wear that? No.
This is like the shoe I was looking for when I was a kid trying to be able to drive the go-karts with all my friends because I was shorter than every one of my friends. I remember when I was a kid, what we would do is I would duct tape things from the garage that weren't not like 2x4s, but like I would find things that didn't look like it looked like it was part of my shoe so that I could have like my platform shoes so I could go on rides and stuff.
You're pulling a Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
His shoes have lifts in them. That's so funny.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But so imagine a shoe with a sole like that, but it's like a leather Mary Jane, and that was the 90s. So the streets of Portland were covered with those.
Eliza, I was like, I wonder. So, I mean, these are $80, but I was like, I wonder if there's any. This was the most expensive one I could find on StockX, which this is a resale. This one retailed at $100. I don't know if you're 11 or 11 and a half.
11.
Oh, there's none.
Oh, that's men's. But that's men's. That's
no,
a men's
these
size.
are women's. This
no,
is
it said men's size.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
U.S. men's size. She's right.
That's
so
interesting.
9.5 is an 11.
I could get them, yeah.
136, not bad. Not 300. It looks like the dudes are in. I guess. Yeah. This was the only one that had any stock. Everything else was out of. They didn't have any.
Yeah, I mean they're not that cool. You know what I mean? Like I think they're like,
and there's no pass.
You know, but
they're just not like a hyped brand or a brand that people are really
excited
flipping out over.
Yeah.
I don't hate them though. I like them.
No, I like how those. I like the pattern on those. They look like
these. We both were like these are actually pretty sick.
Yeah.
Sadly, they do not have any 10s.
No.
Nope. There's no 10s available. They probably just sold out. Honestly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the main reason that why don't we get to the main reason?
Yeah.
Other reason. I mean, we did want to hear you about your shoes.
No, of course.
Though.
No, right. But yeah, it doesn't matter because I don't care about shoes.
So we wanted to discuss like hyped shoes and like how easy it is to like fall into and like feed into the hype or whatever, buy into the hype.
Yeah.
Because I find myself doing that a lot. Like when I first got into shoes, I was like, I'm not going to be a hype beast. But then like the more I read about shoes, I was just like, oh, everybody wants these shoes. And I didn't understand it first. And then I was like, I'd started reading about them. I was like, oh, that's why. Because they did this and this and this, or this guy designed them. And they're like, some of them are kind of dumb looking shoes when you like non-sneaker people look at like the off-white Nikes, where this looks deconstructed and there's like a tag hanging off of it and words like a paragraph printed on it, and they're just like, what the fuck is that? And it's like, it's a $100 shoe that resells for $1,200 is what that is. Like everybody wants that if you're in the know,
right?
And like,
well, and that's the thing. That's what it's about, is being in the know, right?
Yeah, it's like sort of being in a club.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So like I was thinking, like I knew we were going to do this, so I was looking up and I like literally Googled psychology of sneakerheads, because I'm like, I had some thoughts, but I was like wondering if like anything else kind of lined up with that. There's a really good article on Culture. Is that the website? It wasn't Vulture, it was Culture. I'll send it to you guys if you post in the show notes or whatever, if anyone is interested. I thought it was interesting. But so I think partly it comes down to like the motivation behind why you're into sneakers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like it could easily be like, for some people it could like totally turn into like hoarding behavior. And hoarding is interesting because see, look at why is that smile so nervous? Like you actually wear your shoes. You don't buy them just to hide them away.
That's true. That's true.
You use your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But so like,
but I do see myself like when I like a shoe, I'm just like, oh well, that's another colorway, but you know, it'd be good to have the set. Like I've had that thought where it's like, I'm not gonna wear that. I have 3 of those already. Why am I right. thinking about buying another pair of shoes I already have in a color I don't even really care about?
Right. Well, to me, oh, go ahead.
My thing is like my newest thing that I've been doing, because I have bought several pairs of shoes since we've been in this quarantine. My new thing, I did buy one pair and I was like, I want to stretch my taste because all my shoes are black until this pair, like pretty much. And so I was like, I bought a white pair. I have yet to wear them outside of the house. We haven't really been like leaving the house that much anyways, but like, and it's Oregon and I'm like nervous about it. But like, so for me, my new thing is so that I don't become that person, because I'm like definitely dipping into that like hoarding behavior a little bit. My new thought is like, okay, I'm gonna wear am I going to actually wear these shoes and then buy them with a intending on actually wearing them. And then also lately I've been just like rotating through and actually wearing my shoes outside of the house. When I leave.
Progress. Well, so right. And so the fact that you guys both have insight about that and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, is like a pretty good predictor that you're not going to like go full hoarder. Do you know what I mean? Like hoarders often don't have a lot of insight about what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? You can clean out a hoarder house and they're going to fill it back up.
Okay.
Like a super complicated thing. So there's like, but there's those folks like it's like why, like what is your motivation behind collecting the shoes in the first place? Do you know what I mean? So this goes back to like Eliza's theory, unified theory of humans, right? That back in caveman times, we lived in clans of about 40 people, and some new person coming to town meant that you might be at risk of getting kicked out, right? And so my theory is like all of like complicated human behavior comes from like not wanting to be kicked out of the clan. Does that make sense?
Okay.
That's like my...
Oh, you got those shoes. I like those shoes. Same shoes. We're in the clan.
Exactly. Yeah. A million years
Different
later,
clan.
we have, like sneakerheads or sports teams or whatever, right? Kind of like us versus them, fucking Proud Boys versus Antifa. Do you know what I mean? Like it's us versus them. Because if you're an us, then you're not a them and you're safe and you're not going to be left on the side of the hill to die. Right. So that's my theory. Right. So then it gets like, but when it comes to something like this, and I was in a really interesting, in that article that I was reading, an interesting, what am I trying to say? Like term came up with something called a Veblen good. It's like from economics. Have you guys ever heard of this?
What is that? No.
So a Veblen good is something that is treated as more valuable because it's more expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I remember that term.
Yeah. So you get something like this, but I mean, kind of this like the hype stuff, like what was that like giant tulip crisis? Like back in the 1600s or whatever. Like humans just like get excited about stuff. So it's a status symbol, right? Because you got the coolest thing and you're like showing these other people, look, I have this cool thing. I have the, it's like showing off status is basically that. But the same, so there's that part of it. And then there's like just this scarcity mentality, which I've seen a lot in like skincare and makeup and stuff, or just like limited edition anything. I really hate it because it's like this mad scramble, right? For like what you guys do with shoes. So I've experienced this like in other realms, I guess.
Okay.
And I don't love it. I hate it. But I also think that's some kind of like hunter-gatherer shit. This is what I was telling Bjorn earlier, right? Like you guys are hunting those shoes. You're hunting.
No, there is the hunt, the thrill of the hunt. So like us trying to get, like Nick, you tried to get a pair of shoes today.
Yeah, I tried to get a pair this morning. I signed up for a raffle that I didn't win. And then I woke up at 6:58 and looked at the app and I watched the button turn from coming soon to buy now, and I clicked it and I clicked everything. scan my thumb. Like I did every step in
Mhm.
like the first 5 seconds that you could possibly do the step, and that was still a little too late.
Yeah.
Or I think really what it is they get a bunch and there's maybe a randomizer in there too.
Oh, probably.
Because
Yeah.
they try to be fair in the app, I think. I don't know. There's some nerds at Nike that know how it works. But like yeah. And there is like the adrenaline rush sort of it that you
There is.
like,
adrenaline
oh,
rush.
let's see if I get these, and every now and then you get them and it says got them.
Right.
Like,
so it's like a slot machine. It's like intermittent reward.
mm-hmm.
Right. If you knew that every time that you woke up at 6:58 you're going to get the shoes, you might not be as super excited to get the shoes. But it's like the game part of it. It's like it's a slot machine. And you get
the
dopamine.
game does make it fun, and like like not getting them. Every time you do get a pair that you really want, it's like, yeah, it
exactly.
makes your day.
It's more meaningful, right? Because you earned it. You know what I mean?
And then when you don't get one, you just go on StockX and rage cop another pair, which is what
you could do that.
Your boy has done the last few times.
I'm
buying shoes. Yeah.
I'm probably going to do that if I don't get those Flint 13s. I'll probably just buy them, at resale.
They're not too bad. I did.
No, they've been going down too.
They're not like double, so they're not like the ones I didn't get. those are still up at like 2 something. I went
seem
for
like they're coming down.
Those Air Maxes, yeah, they probably will. They're
I don't know if they'll ever get down to retail, but I think they'll stabilize at some point.
I feel like I got to just quick show Eliza the ones that I'm referring to.
Okay.
Because they're sick. They're really cool. And you're going to be like, yep, that's something Bjorn would wear the shit.
That is the most Bjorn shoe I've ever seen.
Right? So bummed I did not get that.
Is it like specially made in Montana just for you?
Yeah, right. Is this, yeah, it has my name on the goddamn heel.
Like no, on the back of the tongue, So you
actually they've gone down since literally yesterday. So this is a cool thing. Oh, why am I not signed in? I'm not. I'm gonna do this.
Okay, yeah, we can't
sign in. You won't be able to see it, but
like someone might sign in and buy some shoes for you. Like my God.
Well, my card information is in there and stuff.
I would have done the same thing.
So I meant to be signed in. My bad. So down here, this is really one cool thing that I like about StockX is you can look at the price of
over time.
So they dropped on the 11th.
Oh wow, that's a pretty robust
actually.
graph
I think they came out on the 12th. So people
18.
must have been buying them before they came out, or
they do that with everything. Like there's shoes are available before they come out if you know the right people.
Right. So
and you have by which I mean if you have a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Because celebrities get shoes before they come out so that they can drive the hype.
Well, right, they get them for free though.
Influencers and stuff, yeah, they do. But then there's also just the people who don't get them for free, but they also want them because they, their stylist is like, you need to be seen in this or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know how it works. Hopefully, I do someday. But
so Eliza, my hope is that the hype keeps going down on this. I think that the price is probably going to stabilize. If I were to venture a guess, since they haven't stayed high. I'm going to venture a guess that it's going to drop a little bit, but I don't think it's going to drop much more than it is right now.
Okay.
But that's just my own bullshit guess. Just from looking at other shoes and stuff. Some of them, it's crazy. Like they'll be like these ones that I did rage cop after the ones that I did buy. They were going for like $300, and then now they are the cheapest Jordan 4s you can get. At like $140. Wow. They've just when everyone thought they were going to be really hyped and then they weren't.
Interesting.
So that's like an interesting thing that happens and it's fun. It's weird. It's almost like a weird stock market.
It is a stock market. Yeah, for sure. It's a stock market.
Well, that's why it's called StockX is they're literally their business model. I watched some videos about StockX, the company, and their whole business model was let's create a stock market of things.
Okay.
Sounds like a late capitalist idea.
I don't know. They're great Americans. They're making money. I ain't mad at it.
I think another aspect about the hype or about some of the about shoes for dudes is there's a peacocking element about it too.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, you have a shoe that's in a style that your crew or your clan has decided these are cool, or Michael Jordan has decided that these are cool.
But he's part of your crew or clan,
right?
Because you want to be cool like him.
And then within that, you get like these Air Maxes or whatever that are unique. So like Nick isn't gonna have these. I'll have them. And so like when we're hanging out, it's like I can feel cool. We can both be wearing. He can be wearing his dumb Tokyo Maze ones that I think are terrible, and I can be wearing these. And people are gonna be like, "Oh shit, that dude's got style. What the fuck is that guy doing?"
And be like, "That guy, boy, those green."
I'd go talk to him if he wasn't standing next to that idiot.
Yeah, that's.
No, it's okay.
People
Nick.
are gonna see the camo shoes and think Nick's the idiot.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, that dude.
I've had random people tell me, and I quote, "Those joints are hard." About those Tokyos, which is the highest compliment you can receive.
You have to defend their honor. You could not let it pass without that compliment being enshrined in history.
Yeah, no, I mean these joints are hard. So like, what was I gonna say? I was like, hey, thanks, bro.
You know, to Nick's. And
that guy was wearing bread fours. I remember we were at an ice cream place around the corner from an open mic. Me and Todd. This guy came in, bread fours, classic.
Okay. Yeah.
He saw my Tokyos and he's like, dude, those are hard. And I was like, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
That's
and then we left and
so
you
had a moment of manly balding. Balding. Bonding. Shit. Well, when you talk about
not quite yet.
Not yet. No, I know. I've seen.
But that's a perfect time to bring up our sponsor for Hims. Losing your hair and your dick doesn't work? 10% off.
Yeah.
Every fucking podcast.
Use code HYPEBEAST. Yeah.
I wish. Yo, for Hims, hit us up. We've got billions of listeners.
Eliza,
time.
These are bread fours. I feel like I need to show you what they are.
Okay.
How much do you think that these are worth? Just I'm gonna give it.
They originally sold for $200.
$200 is
$750.
That's a little high.
No, I don't know your sneaker ways. Guess again. Oh, yeah. We're playing prices right now. $600.
Also too high. They're at about 400 somewhere.
Okay.
In that 3 to 400 range.
Wait, you said those are the most expensive ones?
No.
These are very gettable.
They're just they're a classic.
Oh, I see.
They're like the original color of the shoes. So what's been going on lately, Nike realized all these kids have now grown up. Let's sell them all the shit that they got when they were a kid.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
We're going to put it in fun new colors.
The Jordan 4 dropped in 1988, right? The 3 dropped in 87. So that was the shoe Michael Jordan wore, the 1988 to 89 season. And this was the first color that they made.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then they just remade this shoe from 1988, and everybody's been like, oh, that's a great shoe for 20, 30, 35 years. And,
32.
And so they just keep redoing it, and everybody wants them.
Someone who's born in the 80s, it's really important to not pretend.
Shane wears them occasionally. 5 years ago. Shane has a pair.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's just 32 years ago. Some people born in the 80s don't know how to round. They skipped third grade. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm very sensitive about my age, Nick.
I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry. It was a good joke. But yeah, Shane, we have seen Shane wearing those. Yeah. He has been seen.
And they're called bread because they're black and red. I had to look that up because I was like, why are they called bread? It doesn't make sense.
Let's get this.
I didn't understand that.
You were thinking bread like BREAD.
Yes, I was.
Like Jesus was about to make multiple pairs.
Break bread. Break
then
your
they
Jordans.
Would lose their value. Yeah, we can't let Jesus be duplicating.
Let's break Jordans with Jesus.
Or people in China. Neither one are allowed.
Yeah, that's Chinese intellectual property laws. It's they're playing God. It's not that ain't Christian. Can't be doing that shit.
Okay, so intermittent reinforcement. So we'll get back to that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I'm curious. I want to hear about that too.
So it's like a slot machine, right? So back, I don't know, in the 40s or something, they did these experiments on rats, and so they had the rat. The rat would hit a lever, and a food pellet would come out, and then there was there was one where it would reliably come out like every time, and then another one where it wouldn't come out at all, and then a third one when it came out randomly, and the rats would just like go to fucking town on that lever because they never knew when they were going to get it, so they just kept hitting it, and then when they get it, there's like in human, I'm assuming it's the same in rats. In humans, we know that there's like a spike of dopamine, a spike of serotonin, because you achieved it. You got the thing you want. And that's super addictive, right? It is like literally like a slot machine or like fucking Candy Crush or any of those games that are designed to reward you intermittently.
Okay.
So it feels good to win the lottery. It feels good. And so that's addictive in its own way. It's like, because you're gambling, right?
Yeah. And
you
I
are,
think,
but
like,
when you lose, you don't lose any money, which is right up my alley.
The safer form of gambling. Well, I don't know, Bjorn. You said every time you lose, you go buy other shoes.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Damn it. Turning it around on me. I'm like, I'm saving so much money by not winning these, but buying these more expensive shoes instead.
So far, I've been pretty good most of the time about not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I am susceptible to just impulse buying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty good at impulse buying shit. Like if I see a pair of shoes, like you were with me that day, Bjorn, and we went down to Index.
Yeah.
And I saw this pair of shoes that I'd liked for a while, and they were slightly used, so they were like $100 and some less than a dead stock pair. Still $250, which is a lot for a pair of shoes, but I was like, buying those. I didn't even think. Right. Well, I'm glad I did. They're dope.
Yeah, impulse shopping does the same thing. Impulse shopping gives you a little hit of dopamine.
Yeah.
It's doing the same thing. It's just like less predictable when it's this lottery.
Mm.
So then, so you've got everybody trying to do it, and that's the hype builds and builds from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a big part of it too. Is just that kind of like you don't know that you're going to win, and it makes it way more exciting.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, because also like there's like some of the one yesterday, I actually didn't really care that much about it. I kind of liked it, but I definitely was just like playing the gambling game. That's all it was for me.
That's kind of what the one this morning was. Like I probably would have kept it because it's only $100 shoe, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oregon Ducks colors, so now I'd have a shoe to go along with my Oregon State Beavers color shoes. Since I don't care about Oregon sports and people here do, so I could play both sides of that one. That'd be fun.
Just go like two separate.
Did you win the shattered backboards on a?
I did,
lottery?
But those. Well, I got them off the sneakers app, but they really weren't that hyped. Like people were annoyed that they were shiny, so they ended up being really easy to get, and they haven't. Like I think they're still like $20 more than retail or something. Like they haven't gained that much value. Not the way the first two shattered backboards.
Well, something that I was reading about that is really fascinating about all this for me, or to me, is that the companies are starting to flood the market, and what that does is it makes it really bad for the resellers, but it's good for the consumer because it means that we can actually get our hands on these shoes, and it keeps the prices down. And that's what Adidas is doing right now with Yeezys. So Yeezys are dropping in value on the resale side like crazy because they're releasing way too many.
Yeah, they're doing that with certain Yeezys. But then they still have, and I think Nike does the same thing. Like they'll drop certain Jordans where they'll drop just a shit ton of them so everybody can get them. But then there's other ones like the Dunks that I went for this morning. Like those, all sorts of these hyped ones where they still keep it limited so that there's, I think it like builds the brand too, where if there's the super limited Nikes that are exclusive and a status symbol, it kind of increases the value of the Nike brand across, like in people's eyes, just slightly, doesn't it?
Well, people are moving from Adidas back to Nike. Apparently, a lot of people are, because people like went over, like for a while Nike was kind of not a thing, and then the Yeezys were like the thing.
Yeah, Yeezys were the thing, I think, for a couple of years, and then
for like a few years, and then now Nike's really starting to get it back with all of their with like the app and the and all these interesting releases that they've had come.
Yeah, they've just dropped better shoes in the last couple of years, honestly. Like Kanye's had some decent pairs, but the really, really cool Yeezys were like when Yeezys were big. I feel like they have kind of dropped off a little, in my opinion.
Well, and
people
so
can disagree, but
I'm just thinking, Nick, what you were saying earlier about like having more accessible to the masses and then having these like super special ones makes it. But in my experience, like once brands really mass market stuff, do you know what I mean? Like kind of, it's like the opposite of that Veblen good thing, right? Where it's like way more mass market, so it's not seen as it's not as
so it's just a
valuable.
lose value.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking of like there were just like when I was a teenager, makeup brands that were in Nordstrom that are in Kmart or Walmart now. Do you know what I mean? Like it just loses that cachet. I mean, and there's a ton of sneaker brands from the 80s or whatever, where that was like they were the coolest things, LA Gear or whatever. And like now they're just like nobody wants them. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking though with Nike's
a little different.
Yeah, and with Nike when they drop like a super limited like Air Max 1 or whatever. But then they have the regular Air Max 1s that anybody can buy. Like people I think will buy more of the regular ones since they couldn't get that super limited. They still have the same shoe. I've done that. I have a couple pairs, like a pair of Air Max 1s that nobody cared about. But they're still an Air Max. Like they're elevated, at least in my mind, beyond like a normal sneaker because they're an Air Max. They're an Air Max 1. And
It's kind of like you're on that person's team or something.
Yeah, like I'm on the Air Max team. No, they're not they're not the crazy hyped ones. They're not worth anything. But they are an Air Max 1, god damn it. So like
so
I don't know. That's how my brain works. And so I'm assuming other people's brain also works like that.
That's awesome. Eliza, thank you so much for bringing all that awesome stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I might be full of shit, but it seems reasonable to me.
Hey, I liked it.
Don't
discount it. Fucking own it. This is some good shit that you're full of.
That's fair.
No, I thought you brought some solid ideas.
So
and like analysis. And you also have like an outsider's point of view, which is helpful because this becomes just an echo chamber of us being like, those are dope and those are also
cool,
dope. Like,
because this dude wore them. Hey, this flap's cooler than this flap.
Yeah, pretty much.
And everybody else is like, it has flaps.
Like what the fuck are they talking about?
But like in this way, like shoes and sneakers are no different than any other like weird niche hobby collection
Absolutely.
thing. You know what I mean? Like everybody has, not everyone, lots of people have like weird little collections.
And if you don't, you're fucking weird.
Yeah, you're the weird one, right?
You're fucking weird.
Like taxidermied animals and bones. That makes me less weird than you.
Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
No, I don't respect people that have no interests.
You have no
You
interest.
don't do anything for fun.
It's like the person when you ask if they like what their favorite kind of music is, and they're like, I like everything. You're like,
oh,
fuck
I have
off.
eclectic taste.
Like,
no.
Fuck you.
You know what's worse than that? Once I went out on a date with a guy who said he just didn't like music. I was like,
he didn't like that guy's a psychopath.
Yeah,
you're gonna get murdered.
You left immediately because you were about to get murdered.
Yeah, you were about to end up in a well somewhere.
Yeah, it was the most disturbing thing I've ever heard from a man, and I've heard some fucked up stuff. It was fucked up.
Was he like trying to talk dirty? I don't like any music.
No,
like,
it was just a conversation, and I was like, what the?
You don't like music?
I don't like music.
He was just like, because I was like, what's your favorite band?
That's okay. There's that one, and the other worst one. The only one that's like close to bad in my mind answer would be, oh, whatever's on the radio. No.
That's almost worse.
Here.
That's almost worse because at least with I don't like any music, you are taking a stance.
You're taking
with the
a
radio,
stance.
You're letting someone else choose what you like.
Like,
you're that dumb. You got so much nothing going on behind here that you're just like, I don't care about anything. You make my choices for me. Where should I go today? What should I hear? You know? Yeah. No, right. I think at least the guy who hates all music, he's a psychopath.
At least
he's evil.
At least has an opinion.
Yeah,
about
that's straight
something.
up Voldemort. But like,
that's
at least he's taking a stance. At least he has an opinion.
It was terrifying.
So before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask you one question. Whenever we have a comedian on, what we're going to do is we are going to ask them so when you get your Netflix special or whatever big special, do you have a shoe like
Spotify? Your Spotify special.
My Spotify special. Oh my god, yeah, we'll talk about that later, Nick. I thought about you.
Whatever.
So,
what is the like dream, outrageous, just outlandish shoe that you would wear? And I'm gonna look it up.
Okay,
So we
so
can
this
see
is so funny because I was like, I don't care about shoes. So I messaged my best friend who actually went to Parsons in New York for shoe design.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
like she she might be a good guest for you guys.
I was gonna say like
we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Get
so
me
I
the
was like,
contact. What?
yeah. So I was like, hey, Colleen, I need to talk about a shoe in a few minutes. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I explained what we were doing. And so she sent me this, the Office of Angela Scott.
Okay.
Is like the shoe brand. And there's here, I'm just going to send you the link, Bjorn, because I have it up right here.
Okay.
And you can just like open it from there. Blue stitch. So.
Ooh. Those are
the
cool.
suspense is killing me.
The suspense.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Yeah, they're pretty
those.
dope, right?
Oh, so they're in
Those are neat.
Oxford.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are sick. This colorway too?
Yeah. So I do like that shoe shape. Yeah, I like that colorway. Or they have, I think it's like a pink and gray or pink and black one, I think in leather.
Yeah.
No,
that-
those are
Wait.
leather. Those are Goodyear welted. It's
Oh, okay.
That's
oh,
how
and it's got like the it's shiny. It's real shiny.
Yeah, it's shiny. And I like the blue and gold. But let me see if you like go to the like main page or whatever of that site. It was like the top one. If you go to like the Office of Angela Scott, it was like the top shoe I saw.
This
The
one?
other color. No, those are cool too, but I feel like a little too fiddly.
Yeah, those
if you
are
scroll down a little bit.
too decorated.
Yeah,
for
they're
my
like they're
taste.
very.
Like
That's
all
a very
the- is that a
women's
brogue?
shoe.
Is that what that's called, that
Probably.
cut of the leather?
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not
actually,
a huge
I'm
fan
sorry.
of
Go
that.
to the shop link. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that very much that kind of like. Yeah. Let's see here.
This is cool.
Yeah. Maybe under Oxford. Shit. So it's like the same shoe but a different colorway. The other one. Let me see if I can get it. I can just send you the link.
Okay.
Oh no, it's not the same shoe. Never mind. Oh wait.
These are pretty interesting. I've never even heard
Yeah.
of this.
I know.
I like
That's
this.
like kind of like
I like a
niche-
monk strap. That's a cool design.
Yeah, monk
for a
straps are
dress shoe.
sick.
Oh, I don't even know what that is. Okay,
It's
let's see.
what
So
that
this-
shoe on the screen is.
Mhm.
It's got the little buckles.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's like pink and gray. I'm gonna send it right now. It's the same. Yeah, it is the same shoe.
Okay. Sick.
Pink.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
gray. It doesn't
So that's
have like the
that's
texture
the
interest. You know what I mean?
special shoe that you'd wear.
That the other one did.
So why this one? And then we're gonna have to get out of here.
Yeah. Why this one?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I like the color. I thought it was kind of unique and quirky. Like I like that. I like an Oxford. Like if I'm gonna wear a shoe like that, that's that's like more of like a leather kind of dress shoe. I feel like it's so classic. But I thought it was just like really pretty and feminine too.
Yeah, no, it's sick. And $450. It's funny because like this is in the
Yeah.
market of like I'd fucking buy that. Like,
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, and the
like,
thing is, like, I can't
the
say
ones
shit
we're
about
looking at are
shoes
like
'cause-
$4,000.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I'd get these M&M ones that cost as much as a C-class Mercedes.
Yeah, that's like your third or fourth stand-up special. Like if you
Yeah.
sell out like an arena
Yeah.
somewhere and you're making $1 zillion,
Actually,
Oh,
though,
yeah.
see, for me at that
then you
point,
get the $30,000 shoes.
I'm not even
Yeah.
I'm not even going to do that. That's when I talk to Nike about doing a collab and be like, hey, I want to do a Jordan 4 collab
Oh yeah,
and do like a friends and family situation on them.
Dope.
Because if you're
Hopefully I'll be-
selling out Madison Square, that's when you can have that kind of pull,
would
in
be
my
cool.
opinion.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
Kevin Hart
yeah.
has a Nike, doesn't he?
Adidas, I think.
Is it Adidas? I thought it was Nike.
It's
Oh
Nike.
no.
I didn't
Yeah,
like it.
Kevin Hart has a shoe. I think he might be the only comic that has one. But
Well,
That's
Bert
actually
Bert
hilarious.
had a special
Does
shoe.
it make him taller? Does it have a big?
Right? Yeah, it's a lifts. There's a Tom Cruise one. It's just stilts.
no, I think it's just like a running shoe because he's like
Oh my
crazy into
God.
fitness.
if
But, like-
I had a shoe company, I would make a shoe that was like ridiculous, like lifts, and call it like the T Cruise, the TM Cruise.
Just find a list of all the short celebrities and drop a pair for each of them.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
That would be a good way to build hype, though.
It would be
Like, who are the
so
roast
funny.
nuts?
Yeah, all the celebrities that are mad at you.
And
Fuck
then
you,
make a
man. I'm
knockoff of those, like,
5'7".
barefoot running shoes for the tall guys. Know? Like, how
Exactly.
can I make him shorter?
I'm way above average if you go to Korea.
All right. All right. On that note, we're gonna get out of here. It was so amazing having you on the show.
Yeah, thank you. This was so fun.
Did you want to plug any of your social handles or anything to the
Sure,
billions?
Yeah. My Instagram and my Twitter are both Eliza isn't funny.
So awesome. Nick, what about you, man? You want to plug yours?
Nick Scalzone Comedy on Instagram.
Awesome. And you can follow me, bjornrg.com. That's where all my stuff's at. Thank you guys so much. Please make sure and like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. We love you. Have a good night or day, whatever. Bye.
Bye.